the president seems to have moved into the self-preservation mode.
Yeah.
Is he preserving himself, or does he mean to do this for Kenyans?
You know, one time I remember in 2023, the first interview the president gave, and I asked about the state of the economy. So I asked the president an express question. So I asked, Mr. President, your country has been listed as one of the countries that are possibly going to default in the payment of the loans we have. And I said, your country. And the president responded and asked me, so Ken, wewe nchi yako ni gani? You know, he threw it back to me.
Yes.
But at that point, things were not where they are. What I was trying to tell the president at that time is, if this country falls, it rises and falls with you. If Kenya succeeds in the 5 years, they will say, under President Ruto. Yes. If Kenya falls, they'll say under President Ruto. So as much as I'm a stakeholder in this country, and I know Tanui doesn't like the word stakeholder, but as much as I'm a citizen of this country...
Tanui told you, Ken, you must learn this thing.
I must, and I'm learning every day.
Okay.
So I told the president, and the president responded. So the question is it a self-preservation mode? It's as necessary as yesterday. You need to cover your behind first before you cover someone's behind. You can't leave yours exposed and cover someone's behind. So the president right now is in that mode that he said, if I can do anything to convince these Kenyans who are baying for my blood, who are saying Ruto must go, who are every day singing and tweeting, and he's been trending 3 weeks straight with that hashtag. If I can save myself by giving them a little blood, and I'll be okay. That's what he's been trying to do. Even when he said that you will see changes in the government soon, right? Is the self-preservation. He's trying to see, if I touch this live wire, what does it compare to the wrath of Kenyans? So yes, he has to. And we know the presidents, 2 before him, 3 before him, who had to make those hard decisions. That it comes a time, then my presidency, my time at the helm is more important than the people who surround me, who are using proxy to eat. He has to make that decision.
Tanui, what do you think? Will he make that tough decision like the predecessors?
I like what Ken is saying. I told you I was in the university in those days when we used to say Moi stood for my own interests.
Yes.
And that for any president, however gigantic you are, however legendary you think you are, there's nothing that bothers you more than to face a personal attack. President Ruto is a Bible-carrying Christian.
Yeah.
He talks about Christianity. He goes to church, but the word that it now is preceding him as he moves is a liar. Whether he's a liar or not, that is a stigma. It's something that is sticking. It is something that he has to work on. That he's got a slick tongue, delivering very, very juicy promises, but doing something else. So I think where he is, and I following again what I said, it's reflection. Where he is on that reflection mode must have actually given him a shock that, hey, this is what actually people see me to be, that I don't mean what I say, and that people don't trust me. That I have no human sensitivity. I just talk about figures, statistics, data. People are sleeping hungry, and you are keeping all those career friends, and the country is going. So the thing is, he must get the train of his regime or his government back on track, and that to do that, he's in that bus. He's in that bus. It's the way Moi used to tell us. Or, I'm a driver of a bus, and inside it I'm carrying pickpockets, I'm carrying thieves, I'm getting drunkards and all that. Now he has to clean his state house. Remember, he complained about 2 things very clearly. And that tells you that he has been doing soul searching. And we have to give him credit. One, he said, when he was asked about his cabinet, whether he thinks they succeeded, he said they could have done better. For when a president, when your boss tells you about that, if our minister would be having sleepless nights, because it's a very loaded statement.
And it's not the first time, Tanui, just to remind you. Remember the time he said that he knows more about their ministries than they do.
Yes. Yeah. And then the second, of course, he said that my communication system failed. And you see a president running away from his past because he had ignored totally the mainstream media.
Yes.
he was convinced by one of his aides, that's what I'm told, that you came to power without the support of the media, as if we are supposed to support one party and not the other. But that's what in his thinking. He spent 2 years talking about the media as useless, it can be bypassed, he demeaned us, he put all roadblocks.
Took away our livelihood.
Yes, to the extent that you have the ICT ministry became anti-media and became a friend of bloggers and the alternative media. So the president surely is pained. He has diagnosed this problem, and I think where we are now in Kenya is we are waiting to see how he'll now deal with his own admission that my cabinet failed, my communication system failed. And you remember in that debate, he put one of the lines, he said, "I hope today." In engaging those citizens, I hope today I have found the better way to communicate to the hearts of Kenyans.
And when he said he hoped today, remember one of the questions was, Mr. President, are you tone deaf? Has he responded to it by today's expression today in the State of the Nation address?
That question was connected to the feelings and emotions of Kenyans.
Yeah.
And this was from Eric Latif.
Yeah.
Because Kenyans increasingly thought he does not hear what they're saying. He doesn't hear their demands. So today we have seen he has acted on some of those express demands. The elephant in the room, however, is wanasemanga Charles Simbaya ni wale watu
wako kando yake.
The people are surrounding you. And I think that is the crux of the matter in this thing. People need to see the people who have failed the president away, out of his space, so that if at all he fails to deliver, because Charles, let's not forget fundamentally that the president has done 2 years. In this country, you can only work for 3 years. No, for 2 years. Second year and third year. Fourth year, you've started campaigns. 2 years are gone. 1 year is gone. Now, from what is happening, it's a reset button. He has to redo his government afresh, which means he's starting first year right now. Right? So fundamentally, he has taken a decision based on the feelings that initially, and that's where Tanui started from. Initially, he thought, it's more important to tell Kenyans the real pictures. Kenyans didn't want to see the real picture. Kenyans wanted you to respond to specific feelings and emotions, and they're very close to their heart. So yes, he's tone deaf, he was. But I think the fact that he's taken those decisions and taken the words out of their mouth and responded to them, I think right now he's begun. But the elephant in the room remains. These people who have failed you, what are they still doing? Because you can't lie to us about Mythical Inturi. We saw it regardless of the political process that saved him. You can't lie about those other CSs that are being mentioned left, right, center. Kenyans see what they're doing. You can't lie about people who are dishing money and they're still in State House. And they're the people who determine which guests come in. Right? CSs are complaining. PSs are complaining for them to get access to State House. They have to go through other people. The deputy president himself at one point said, unajua huyu Faruk nilifikiria. You remember that?
Yes.
And he's a very important man. So there are few people who Kenyans are seeing as these are the people responsible for where we are currently. Are they still around you, Mr. President? Yes, they're still around you. So that statement that you will indeed see changes in the government must draw real blood. And what is real blood? Get rid of the people around you. Let's see in the coming months if it works for you. Then we'll say, yeah, they were the problem. Now the president has the right men.